Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking the time to spend a little time with me. And I welcome you back to another edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. Of course, you're seeing this, guys, the following day. I'm doing this Monday night, schedule changes and things of that nature. But I wanted to get this video done for you guys so it'll be available for you to view on Tuesday. Might be available at midnight. I'm not sure yet, but just wanted to get it out. So we got to talk about the Chicago Bears, man, and what happened with the Steelers against the Bears. There's a whole lot of things to talk about, guys. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but there's a lot of areas that you can point to. But primarily, guys, of course, I always have my notes here. The biggest issues that caused the Steelers to lose that game, let me tell you what they were. First and foremost, lack of offensive efficiency, okay? Lack of offensive efficiency, and we're going to dive into that. Could not stop the run. The run defense was horrible. The worst that we've seen by far this season. Kind of reminds you of the Miami Dolphin game. But it's key to remember that as well. I'll tell you why. Then number 3, turnovers. Turnovers and spotty special teams or shoddy special teams play, I guess you would say. We give up the blocked field goal. Now, at least Vance McDonald does his thing. And, Vance McDonald comes out there, hustles. Stupid play by Cooper Sr. I mean, what was this guy thinking? He didn't even look behind him to see if anybody was back there. But at least Vance McDonald hustled on the blocked field goal, saved the touchdown. Barry bats it out or what have you. And, tough situation there, man. You can't expect Barry to think properly of what should happen in that scenario. It is what it is, man. We hold him to 3, all right? But those things alone is why the Pittsburgh Steelers lost the game. Now, let's dive right into this, man. A lot of people, I see people already out there blaming Mike Tomlin. Of course, they're saying, oh, it's the Tomlin effect. Oh, Tomlin, deserves to be fired, blase, blah, blase, blah. I'm just not going to entertain any of that, so you won't see me respond to any of that. Everyone has their opinion. I have mine. It is what it is. I don't believe that you can blame Mike Tomlin for what happened against the Chicago Bears if you look at the game. You can't blame Mike Tomlin for missed tackles. You can't blame Mike Tomlin for blocked field goals. You can't blame Mike Tomlin for muffed punts by Eli Rogers after, the defense gives you a 3 and out. You can't blame Mike Tomlin for giving up the sack fumble. You can put some blame on Ben Roethlisberger as well, not just the O-line. Ben Roethlisberger has a tendency to lock in on Antonio Brown, which he did on that play. Holding the ball too long at times. And he gives up the sack fumble, okay? Strip fumble, whatever you want to call it. But let's dive into this, man. Let's talk about Big Ben Roethlisberger. Guys, Ben is starting to concern me a little bit. And I can't just say that it's happening now and excuse that, as in the background, that's my condensation pump running. Y'all going to hear the air conditioning come on and on, cut off or what have you. Y'all know how that works. It is what it is. But, guys, Ben Roethlisberger doesn't seem to be the same Ben Roethlisberger. His accuracy seems to be affected. He's taking some hits with his accuracy. There were some high balls thrown in that game. He missed some guys. And, he just doesn't appear to be the same Ben Roethlisberger in terms of efficiency. I'm not even talking about playing like he did back in the day. I mean, he is getting older. It's year 14 or what have you. You would expect some drop-off. But he's not commanding the offense and commanding his throws the way he once did. He's continued his struggles on the road. And I don't know what that's all about. I don't know how you blame Mike Tomlin for that. You gotta make these players take accountability as well. Let's talk about the very first game. The first play of the game. Martavis Bryant drops a huge opportunity, which he probably walks into the end zone. That probably becomes a touchdown. If not a touchdown, more than likely a field goal. That could have changed the whole complexion of the game right there. Imagine if we hit that play, hits his fingertips, and I know some people could say it could be a tough catch. Some people might say it was a little out of his reach. You have to come up with those plays. If it hits your hands, you have to find a way to come up with the play. Lay out for it if you have to. But say we score on that drive. That could take some of the win out of the Chicago Bears' sail. Here comes big bad Pittsburgh, their offense. They strike you that early. It might keep you on your heels the rest of the game. That could have changed everything. Can't forget that. But Ben Roethlisberger, again, man, he's locking in on Antonio Brown way too much. And he's just not spreading the wealth the way he's supposed to. He's still taking, didn't take as many third down deep shots, but there was still some intermediate downs, 2nd and 7s, things like that, where he did choose to go deep. And again, I don't know if that's Ben Roethlisberger or if it's play calling, because obviously when you take a shot, a lot of times it's built into the play. Sometimes it could be just Ben giving a signal or what have you, and I don't know what it is, but there were, again, more opportunities in that game where guys underneath were open. I don't know what it is with this offense, man. It's really bothering me, man. It's just not going. It's just not cohesive. It's supposed to be this high-powered offense with these weapons. And listen, I understand, guys, it is week 3. Let's not get over our heads yet. We're 2-1. Let's not get in over our heads. I mean, look at the other teams around the league. Who would have thought New England gives up 33 points to the Houston Texans with that offense? Allowing Deshaun Watson, Bill Belichick going against a rookie quarterback and allowing that type of offense on their defense. No, they're not the greatest defense in the world, but still, it's a Bill Belichick coach team. Who would have thought that would have happened? Who would have thought the Baltimore Ravens would go to London and get smacked the way they did by the Jaguars? That's crazy. How does a Jaguar offense produce 44 points against a Baltimore Ravens defense that looked virtually incredible the first 2 weeks with the turnovers and such? Who would have thunk it? Joe Flacco gets benched and they bring in Mallet. I mean, the dude, what was he, like 8 for 18 or something crazy, 2 for 28, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know he threw 2 interceptions in that little bit of time. What is going on? Crazy. Who would have thought that? Seattle, goes to Tennessee, and Tennessee gets them. You see what I'm saying? There was a lot of things that you wouldn't have expected. Who would have expected the Oakland Raiders to have such a horrible offensive performance against the Redskins, the Washington Redskins? See what I'm saying? It was one of those Sundays. And I know Steelers fans, I know what you guys are going to say. We're tired of seeing this, and yes, I am too. I'm tired of seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers not handle teams they're supposed to just blow out on paper. You respect the fact that these teams are absolutely professional teams, but doesn't it kill you to see that? I acknowledge that as well. But what we cannot forget, we have to take into account these things here. Again, they're a pro team, and it happens. It is any given Sunday. Any given Sunday, a pro football team could beat another pro football team. And again, I'm not going to go, read into the narrative of Tomlin. It's him. He doesn't. Here's the most overrated or overused statement to me in football is, coach didn't have them ready to play. Or even when they win, the coach had them ready to play. I don't buy into that because I'm going to assume it's the same preparation every week. I would assume that my players are playing the way they're supposed to play every week. So I don't feed into those narratives. That's just me, guys. I just don't. I don't feed into that because these dudes should be playing the way they're supposed to every week and giving maximum effort. It's just sometimes you don't play as good. You're undisciplined. And that's where we're going to go right after I get off of the offense. Defense was ridiculously undisciplined. But let's go ahead and keep going here. A little bit more on offense, guys. Like I said, it's not a whole lot positive to talk about. Le'Veon Bell only gets 15 carries. He ends up with about 61 yards. I still don't understand why we're not trying to feed the ball to Bell a little more. If you look at the averages there, that wasn't that bad. He had a decent performance, only 61 yards. But again, only 15 carries. And then on some of his, better runs, it was getting called back for penalties. You see what I'm saying? There was a bad holding call on Chris Hubbard, late in the game that stalled the drive that was very important. And I understand, Foster wasn't in the game. I understand that Marcus Gilbert didn't play. I get it. But these guys are supposed to be capable guys. I can't give all of these, excuses when certain guys aren't playing. I mean, yeah, it definitely has an effect. But come on, man. You made the 53-man roster. You're supposed to have depth. We see all the time in the NFL where backup guys in there handling his business. So I can't always give that kind of pass. Come on, we got to do better than that, man. And then again, More and more penalties. Bell had a drop, bad drop as well in the fourth quarter. Third down conversions here. We were 4 of 11 on third down conversions. Got to do better than that, man. I mean, what more can I say? Let me see what else I have here in regards to offense. I think that's all I have, man, because there's really nothing to talk about. Antonio Brown does his job as he's supposed to. But again, Ben targets him a lot. And I just refuse to believe, man, that with the type of weapons the Steelers have, when we're spreading out 5 wide, there's no way these guys are covering everybody. In those scenarios, I think, Big Ben is deciding to go where he wants to go early. He's looking for Antonio Brown, which is cool. If you see the matchup, go get it. But come on, man, we got to mix it up. Look at what happened in the second half. Ben started spreading the ball around, and we got back into the game. Why are we doing that so late? That's a question. Why are we playing like that so late? And also, why are we not doing no huddle? What's going on with no huddle? Big Ben is very efficient in no huddle offense. Why are we not running no huddle that often? Don't understand that. Here's an interesting thing to note as well. Did you notice that Juju Smith-Schuster had way more opportunities than Eli Rogers? Remember what we said, guys? He could end up being that guy that takes Eli's spot. Very interesting, right? Excuse me. But I don't know if you paid attention to that, but Eli wasn't even targeted in the game, even though there was a play, again, where Ben took a shot downfield and Eli Rogers was wide open. However, I couldn't help but to notice that Juju Smith-Schuster was in the lineup way more than Eli Rogers. And, he was effective at times. So let's keep an eye on that as the season continues. All right, now let's get to this defense. My goodness. I don't know if you guys go back and watch the game like I do. I think I need to invest in the all 22 for myself. Shout outs to Steelers Depot, SteelersDepot.com, Dave Bryan over there, and also Alex Kazor. These guys, a lot of times they post pictures of the all 22. I think I need to invest in that myself so I can start breaking down the games that way. But just looking at some of the images and looking at some of the replays I've seen, poor angles taken. Guys not filling their lanes. Guys are not containing the outside like Chickalo. And I hate to pick on Chickalo because I really like him. I really root for Chickalo. But there was so many times where Anthony Chickalo was simply not in position, or he was getting blown off of his spot and not containing the outside. Guys like Ryan Shazier, who I love when he's on top of his game. But what does he do a lot? Shazier shoots the gap a lot, and Shazier often misses tackles in the backfield. We need more of those to be converted tackles for loss. He's too talented. He's too fast to be always in this scenario, always in this situation where this dude is blowing up the gap or shooting the gap and missing the guy. Or sometimes he shoots the wrong gap. Come on, Shazier. We got to do better than that. We have to do better than that. Even though he had 11 tackles in the game, he led the team in tackles, he could have had a lot more. From my count, he could have easily had about 17 tackles and about 4 or 5 tackles for loss. Vince Williams as well. You look at some of those replays, taking bad angles, taking himself out of position, guys running right beside him, right by him. You look at some of the safety play. Wilcox sometimes was doing a bad job with run fits. Artie Burns, my goodness, was doing a horrible job with run fits. Not on every play, but there was plenty of plays where he just was not filling his lane, keeping that contained. Just crazy, especially, near the end in the overtime. I mean, the run fits, it was some of the worst I've ever seen by a cornerback with Artie Burns. I got to pick with these guys when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, in overtime, I will say that definitely seemed to be a hold on Joe Hayden, but whatever, man. It's a moot point. That one play is not why the Steelers lost the game. The Steelers had plenty of opportunities to win that game. The Chicago Bears gave us plenty of opportunities to win the game. A drop interception by Mike Mitchell, where J.J. Wilcox actually makes the same interception, goes low to get it. Come on, Mike Mitchell, we need this from you. This is the type of stuff we used to get from Troy Polamalu, and let's be real. there might only be one Troy Polamalu, but y'all understand what I'm saying. J.J. Wilcox made the same catch that Mike Mitchell should have made that could have possibly given the Steelers a chance to seal the game. Little stuff like that. There was another fumble by Cohen, and Wilcox, looks like he tried to scoop and score instead of just trying to recover it. And I know, heat of moment, I get it, but I'm just saying, they gave us a lot of opportunities. There was a situation where, same drive, I believe, there was a bad snap. And these type of things, we got to be on the quarterback as soon as possible. They gave us endless chances to win that game, and we didn't take advantage of them. Do you know the Steelers offense had the ball twice and under 6 minutes left in that game, and we could not drive to get a touchdown? Now, we supposed to be this high-powered offense, and we could not get a touchdown with 2 attempts with less than 6 minutes to go in the game, potential game-winning drives? Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, as mad as I am, guys, I will acknowledge this. The Steelers are still 2-1. It's the 3rd week of the season. I always say I don't really know what the team is until about week 6, 7. That's when I know who they really going to be. We've seen this story endless times. I am sick and tired of watching the same movie. I am. Trust me. Well, you look at last year, Miami gouged us on the run game, got them in the playoffs, shut that boy down, even hurt Ajayi in the playoffs. Held him to 30 yards or something crazy like that. So I know that the run game will improve after this. Maybe they needed that punch in the mouth. I understand TJ Watt is out, but we can't necessarily say that TJ Watt would have made a huge difference because we don't really know how good he is against the run yet. All right? And we definitely understand that our big man, Stephon Tuitt, is out. So, of course, with those 2 guys not being out there, I'm sure that has something to do with it. But let's not kid ourselves. We all have been saying that Tyson Alualu has been doing a good job. We all have been saying that Anthony Chickalo has been doing a good job. Most of us have been saying that LT Walton has been helping out. So because these guys were playing, we can't fall back on the fact that there was a couple starters out the game. No, we can't fall back on that. All of those guys are capable of making plays, and they should have made plays, period. Chicago Bears had no business beating the Pittsburgh Steelers the way they did. Look at pass coverage. We did a great job against the pass. Granted, Glennon didn't have to attempt that many, but when he did, we were shutting it down. And this is why I got to point the finger at Keith Butler. Go look at some of those formations. If you haven't seen them, guys, go on Twitter, follow SteelersDepot.com, and follow Alex Azur, and look at some of these formations that we came out in to play against the run. There was a time where, and Alex showed this, the Bears are in 13 personnel. They in 13 personnel. I mean, come on, they're telling you they're going to run the ball, and we playing with 2 high safeties. I feel like this. The way that we were containing the pass, sell out on the run. Sell out on the run. Keep your guys in man coverage on the back end and make Glennon beat us. And if he does, he does. But the way the defense was playing throughout the course of the game, when you saw anytime they had the pass, we were pretty much containing that. Yo, load that box and make them beat us. All they were doing was running outside zone left, outside zone right, and was killing us. Again, bad angles taken and horribly missed tackles. Horrible missed tackles. I mean, it looked like rookie season out there, man. Some of these tackles that were missed. Even, again, Bud Dupree had a play where he darts into the inside and misses the tackle. And Cohen, give him credit for nifty moves, shakes him, and he skirts on down the sideline. You see what I'm saying? Come on, we can't give up these opportunities, man. These are teams that you're supposed to win. Supposed to beat. You're supposed to get the win. And that's what I'm expecting. Now, again, like I said, I'm not the craziest person in the world where I think every game we're going to win. No. But I just hate losing games like that where clearly we should have been able to get the win. A loss that doesn't really hurt me that bad is like this coming week. You go to Baltimore in a hostile environment against your division rival who a lot of times can match what you're doing. Has given us some trouble the last couple of years. We finally got them back on Christmas last year. And let's say you go in there, it's a tough game, and they end up edging it out. You accept that. You understand what I'm saying? Or we go to Kansas City, and it's a close game. They edge it out. You accept that. Because when it's just another powerful team, and it's a good, hard-fought battle, and we just come up short, you can accept that. But I can't accept a 0-2 Chicago Bears team. Again, I know they're pros, but they're 0-2. We clearly outmatched them on paper. And we give up over 200 yards rushing. Very frustrating as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But hey, it is what it is, guys. You know, we'll see what's gonna happen. We'll definitely see how these guys respond. You know, come this week against the Ravens. I missed it last week, guys, but I'm gonna get back to getting the pregame out for you. I know you guys wanted to see that, so I'm gonna get a pregame up on Friday to discuss, you know, the keys of victory and things of that nature, you know, against the Baltimore Ravens, and we'll see how that goes. But very pissed off by the Steelers, man. Let me make sure I didn't have anything else here I wanted to say. Javon Hargrave, got to give Javon Hargrave a lot of credit. He probably played the most consistent. He even got a sack. You know, he was doing his job for the most part. Sean Davis, let me say that real quick before we wrap up. Sean Davis not really showing me much so far this year. It's early. It's only 3 games. And, he got dinged up a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. But Sean Davis' name hasn't really been called. Have we said anything about Sean Davis in the first 3 games? No. It's a little disappointing. And look at this. Your boy J.J. Wilcox comes right in, gets an interception, and hasn't even been there long. See what I'm saying? I need Sean Davis to be more of a difference maker. You know, it's very comforting to see that at least you can get a guy like Wilcox in there that might help out, but he's going to have to do some better things with the run fits. I think he will. You know, I'm confident that the defense will grow and get better. I still think we're in a better position than we were in last year around this time, but we still got some things to tighten up. You know what I mean? So I'm going to calm down. Let's see what happens this coming week, whether we win or lose. How do we respond? I just want to see how we respond. And Todd Haley, please get creative. Please get a little more creative with the offense. And Big Ben Roethlisberger, please stop focusing so much on Antonio Brown. Get some other people involved. Get some other people involved, man, because there's a lot of stuff going on out in that field, and you're looking at one guy and you're holding the ball too long. And then even when you're throwing the other guys, your accuracy is not there. A lot of missed throws yesterday. A lot of missed throws Sunday. You see, I'm talking crazy. I can't even remember what day it is. But let me calm down. We're 2-1. May be able to lead Baltimore 3-1, or if not, worst case scenario, 2-2. That's not the end of the world. But we better get this run game tightened up, because let me tell you something. This is the last thing I will say. Look at the teams that we got to play coming up. We got the Baltimore Ravens, who will definitely try to run the ball. We got to play the Chiefs. We got to play the Titans. We got to play a lot of teams who will try to run the ball. Even the Cincinnati Bengals. Even the Cleveland Browns the next time. Now we've put this performance on film for other people to study. We better tighten it up, and we better tighten it up very fast. All right, guys, so that's all I got for this one, man. Make sure you guys share your comments. Please share your comments down below in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys have to say, how you felt, whether you were disgusted, yay or nay. And like I said, man, anybody talking Tomlin needs to be fired, blah, 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 not even going to pay you any mind. That's just crazy to me, but it is what it is. That I respect your opinion, respect mine, to not even engage in that. All right, so if you haven't already, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cut on the notifications so you know when videos are available. And I promise it will never hurt you to hit that like button. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. But until next time, here we go, Steelers. And hopefully next week we're talking about a victory. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.